We didn't create racism. White folks did. When they treated us and they beat us and they hung us and they denied us in a strange land that they stole and raped and took. But they're quick to tell you, my country.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good.
Can you bless us with your name?
Say that again?
Can you bless us with your name?
Your
What's your
name?
name?
Oh, name. Okay, you got to talk up a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. My name is Kelly Kunta,
Mm-hmm.
and I represent human rights, political prison, injustice, and fairness for the last 60 years. I'm 72 years old. I got an opportunity to understand American democracy in terms of injustice and unfairness. And I realized that my skin color is more dangerous than my oxygen in my body. Because here we are, 60 years later, we are doing the same Jim Crow. It's written all over again in America. I come from the 60s where they were protesting and for human rights, they were protesting for Vietnam. But who would ever thought I lived to see the KKK back in a different form, in a different way, and shooting us. When I was a boy, they didn't kill us like this. They hung us, they whooped us, and they slaved us. But now they got ridiculous with this. They just outraged it, war is killing us and shooting us in the back.
Wait, hold up. Let me jump in real quick. You saying it's worse now than it was back then?
Yeah,
Jim Crow?
for killing us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now we can look at slavery and beating and whooping. That was part of us being where we grow at today. But we didn't get shot in the back without someone speaking up. Today they shoot us in the back. They come back out. You know, and in all police departments, this is the thing that many of us are forgetting. Brutality, excessive force, and all that is in all police force. I've been through it all my life, in and out United States clam house, better known as the juvenile hall, they prison, and the corrupt system. We are inmates, and we make most of the product the world don't know, secret. And not only that, I'll send my message out to all the inmates in America, federal and state. They got the coronavirus. See, that's to show you they don't care nothing about us. There's people in the United States with the coronavirus in prison, and they was lifers. They didn't have a chance to walk out, so how they get it? Someone brought it in. So when we look at America on human rights and all that, we got to hold America accountable for what we saw in Washington, D.C. If that had been black people protesting in D.C. for what Trump put them up on, Donald J. Trump, he was trying to kill him in the first one, but it didn't go down. So the second one, his people went up there and tore the White House up. And if you look at it, it wasn't us. It wasn't brown, it wasn't black. But how they got treated like a pat on the flap, or you come on and tear it up. Americans got a lot to look at. But number one is they go around the world and they discipline everybody for human rights. We got the death penalty. We got bogus street strikes. We got mass murder. We got plot. We got now they want to assassinate the Speaker of the House and all this shit. Now what are we coming to? Because the white range ideology and Republican period is the target of all of this corrupt. Now, for example, for years, all on the coastline of the South, they deny all of the vote. Been doing that. But now since Trump became president, and he's no longer the president, all this shit came out to the forefront. In other words, denying humans to vote, been around. But now it's on the forefront that all of you young minds can see it. And you can see it in your face, because you can see what happened in D.C. You can see what happened in this nation when all the Black Lives Matter went all over the nation protesting for killing and protesting for justice and protesting for unfairness, and look how they treated us. So we have to have a unity where we understand that white Americans give a damn about us. So the bottom line is, when we see we got to get on the right side of history with the white people, like in the 60s with Malcolm and King and all of them. They had white people in the crowd, but them white people fighting for justice like we were. So in order to fight for justice, we must use all race. But this is what's wrong with America. The KKK is not ready to change their power because they're not used to seeing all of these multiple nationalities fucking each other. That's how you got to put it, because somewhere they got it twisted. But you shouldn't have it twisted, because every multiple nationality, we live in a country where people from every walk of life and went to bed with each other. Wake up, fucking Republicans. Wake up, white people. It's no longer the 1920s, the 1960s, 100 years ago, where you can do race of people the way you want. No, you can't. The world have changed, but you're not ready to accept it, so you keep racism. You keep the white world going, because like Ali said once, a good friend of mine, he said once, he said, in order to fight injustice, you got to acknowledge it. White people have never acknowledged what they did to slavery. They never acknowledged how they beat us and whooped us and lied to us. But
What Ali you talking about?
Ali talked about a lot of things. He
No, I
talked,
said, what Ali you talking about?
I'm talking about Muhammad
Muhammad
Ali.
Ali. You knew Muhammad Ali?
Oh yeah, he was my best friend. Him, Marvin Gaye, all that. But let me back up for a minute while you ask me that. I came from the Harlem gang. In order to come from the Harlem gang, I went to 3 major cities. I'm from New Orleans. I traveled there to New York to my cousin and all them. I lived there. Then I bounced here. But I've always been involved with public figures. My first friend and first everything was my great aunt, best friend, Mahita Jackson. So I came from a town of jazz.
Mahalia Jackson?
Mahita Jackson was my aunt's best friend. So I came from a jazz world where you always went in the French Quarter. See, I come out the project, the Desire Project. And in the project, all you saw is Harold Alley and people nodding all the time and around Bell. But if you go in the French Quarter, it's everybody in the French Quarter. Movies being made, business going on, everything. So by me being a little kid, and I go in the French Quarter, because my sister go to this bar, she used to sell heroin. And the man, she'll go boots and do her thing while I stand right in this thing, pat my little foot with my afro, and listen to some jazz. But I was able to come out the project. This is the whole key. A lot of us in America, we get stuck in traffic for ghetto and poverty because we don't know economics. We don't understand economics. Because we were taught economics because the preachers in this country is one of the biggest faults to black community in America. Not from the religion status, because I don't disrespect no human religion. From the money thing. How can you tell me money is evil? You got a $1,000 pair of shoes on. You got a fucking top-notch suit. You got a $10,000 watch on. You ride around in a Rolls Royce. So how can you tell me money is evil every week? So that's a fault in black community for years. That's why we wasn't able to advance and shit, because we always looked at money being evil. They was using money being evil to steal from us by the master people. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom off. I'm almost facing the stars.
Still keep going though. Still got the other angle, right?
Yeah. Alright, go ahead.
what happened?
This ain't working right now because the memory card ran out, but we still got other angles going, so
Okay.
we keep going.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, go ahead. 'Cause we'll use these other 3 angles in this time while we fixing this, so we can keep up with time, because the light going and it's just getting darker and darker.
Okay. So you want to wait till you come back?
No, go ahead. If you remember.
Okay,
what
yeah. So when we all, as a nation, but I'm gonna back up for a minute.
Okay.
Even coming out the Harlem game, I learned economics as a child. But as I got older and older, I started watching people who had involved, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Oprah Winfrey and Martha Stewart. I started looking at money all over the world. And one of the things I learned is I went to every live concert for a good 30 years. So I got to meet I got to meet some of the most
Right.
famous people at the Hollywood Bowl. So I played the Hollywood Bowl, I played the reggae, I played the cool jazz
Hold on, you
festival.
played, so you was
I went.
okay.
I went to all of these events. I
Right.
went to them. And as I'm going to events through the years, I had a job, so I lived both worlds. But I count millions of dollars for other people. So I come out of the negative world, and I took the negative world and turned it around, and I started speaking in high school. And I wound up speaking 40 years ago, Fremont, Westchester, Hollywood High, in the auditorium. And then my second thing was, and the Los Angeles Center was the first one did an article on me out here 40 years ago about injustice and unfairness. And then from there, I got out in 2003. I got back and doing protests. In 17 years, I've been in a multiple protest. The Los Angeles Times did an article on me around the corner about poles in downtown Los Angeles where I'm at. And they did an article on Skid Row, criminal justice and all. So if you want to get that in 2013, you can get that on the Kelly Kunta. So I kept on pushing for justice and fairness for all human race, especially the people of color. I've always had an appetite for looking at how Americans work worldwide, how they treat people of color all over the world. And the whole key to it, when you look at the injustice, you basically have to look at what America stands for in the free world. They show you one picture of how they're so nice and they bet, and the other side they're doing murders, and the other side they're doing deny you, they frame you. And until America do something about their criminal justice system, it will never be a better America until they do that. That's first. Biden working on that now. We've been to have that done. A whole lot of stuff that we climbed the ladder for. We was on the street before any race in this country, protesting back in the 50s and 60s. We stayed on the street for human rights and injustice. So how can we forget our past? Right. And our past is the fact that we've been bow-legged telling that we Americans. None of us is a fucking American. The Indian was here before any race. And I'm tired of white people keep saying my country. When people catch white people saying it, the first thing you gotta ask white people, oh, I understand it's your country, but I kind of figure just in the head it don't add up right. How did you get this country? Because according to history, you murder and rape people to get it. Correct me on that. I might be, in the wrong country. Until you clear that up. And I think black Americans, all of us got to remind the racism white people how they got their country. And then you get to control the temperature down how they think. They think about they're the only race here. This thing got crazy in this country. Outrageous and ridiculous. There's multiple races in America, and the world know that. Not just the white people think, oh, no. They dominate all kind of stuff before the hip-hop people came around and started taking control of their money. First of all of us have to take full control of our finances. You shouldn't have another race holding on your penny with a pencil and go in and out stealing in your account. And how that happened is you being a knucklehead letting these people take full control. You're a lawyer. I mean, in the last 30 years, how many lawyers done robbed people? And supposed to be, and the other one they got, the material decoration part, then they ripped off people. So come on, black people, you don't even go back in your ghetto and buy shoes and shit. Like the white people said a game was the children get $10,000 just doing bowling or picking up weight. We do nothing for black people in the community. We do nothing for Black Party. We don't do nothing but get rich. And by the way, all the hip hop, I've been wanting to say this for years. Y'all created all this killing, because when in all y'all videos, y'all say cop killing. So the white folk got tired of that bullshit and they start killing us. Now that's what they're doing now. So you gotta sit out there and get in front of these microphones and apologize to a lot of black families in this country, because y'all the ones started this shit. Duke Dog, IQ, all of you rappers, y'all is the victim of what we going through right now, is death. And none of y'all, all y'all shutting your mouth up. You ain't coming in the cameras and saying anything because you got rich off of that. So you need to clean your act up off and how you feel about black America and come out and start representing these people. We got a coronavirus going on. We got a fucking system all corrupt. So what are y'all going to do? Y'all keep going along. And then all of a sudden, Al Sharpton came to real life now. I'm 30 years ago, he wasn't all the way black, because he was all the way on the wrong side. Now all of a sudden, I'm gonna get a brother his prop right now. He coming back black for some reason. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, but he's back black, okay? So I'm not down on the brother, no preaching shit. I'm just saying he back black. Otherwise, he's getting more involved with issues that concern us as black people. Now, I don't know about Al Sharpton. Jesse Jackson, I'm sorry. Jesse Jackson, he's terrible. So you don't even want to follow him around the corner. You understand? Double wife and all this crooked shit. Don't fuck with him. But Al Chuck, he kind of changed a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Now, he can go backward too. You know what I'm saying? So we all have to get together and realize that we have a problem in America. And we've been having a problem. We breaking barriers. We did not just started breaking barriers. Michael Jackson wasn't the first one. Let's go back to Henry Tucker. Let's go back to Rosen Parker. Let's go back to Nat Turner. Let's go back to Hannibal. And right away, Hannibal. Hannibal was one of the greatest generals ever lived. You know what I'm saying? And then they stole so much. See, that's the thing about white America. They don't have no history. Real accomplishment thing that they created. The pyramids, you see them things flying in the air? They written on the walls of the pyramid thousands of years before any industrialized nation. Right away, we were the first people to go in the brain. So why should we be better? We have kings and queens, they got that from us. There no fucking kings and queens in Europe. So see, we got to get all our black lives together and realize what these people done. There no queens in Europe, you know what I'm saying, before. They stole all the knowledge and things in order to dominate and control the world. That's what they do. They dominate and control the world. And we the dummies sitting in the middle, allowing them to do it because we believe in them. You got to believe in yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. You got to be strong enough to build a coalition against a corrupt system. America ain't going to change until you young people can keep it. And I'm very proud of the Black Lives Matter. And not only that, my wish to go out to, you know, the great, just died, John Lewis. My symbol go out to that brother who was one of the, take him for example, he got beat in the 60s. Really beat. The world saw him over and over and over. We saw that face of him. And he still came out to be a giant. Still came out to be able to stand up and still talk about civil rights and injustice. And that's how I feel. And that's how I've been feeling since a little boy. I would never stop talking about injustice. I would never stop standing up and speaking out for the way America stands. I don't play either side, Democrat or Republican, but I don't give a damn about Republicans at all. So the bottom line is, when you take my vote away from me, you don't mean nothing to me. So now we got a whole Congress in Washington, D.C. say straight out with no cut. Y'all young people have to remember what these people done. So that means they don't want you to vote. Your vote don't give a fuck. That's wrong. So you got to stand up for your vote. And you got to remember, every Republican says that your vote don't count for Donald J. Trump. They got a serious problem in America. A really, really serious problem in America. So you got to stay focused. You got to be able to know where you're going, what you're doing, and not be afraid to stand up in this country. Because if you sit down for 1 second, 10 of y'all dead. If you sit down for 1 second, 10 of y'all framed. And one of the things that it means so much to me in all my protests in the last 50 years, and in all my protests in 50 years, is how do we get to a point in the criminal justice system where so many people been cut loose free? So many people been cut loose free. So how can we have the greatest democracy? We have a corrupt system. And in order to reach that corrupt system, we got to be focused on what we're doing and either to stay black. Don't be ashamed of your color. And right away, you can wear makeup, because makeup, we wore makeup thousands of years in Africa. The fuck all of a sudden you being mad and feel jealous because you wear makeup? Fuck with them white people talking about you wear what you've been wearing for thousands of years. Wear your identity. It is ridiculous for us to think that everything we created ain't nothing new to us. We born with rhythm. See, these white folks don't understand all the baby dances. We was born with rhythm. We was born different than most race on this earth. I mean, not because we came. We came from kings and queens.
Yeah, I got left out. I can't dance with a damn.
Yeah, so when people say, oh, they acting wild and stuff, no, we not. We in a party in the backyard having fun. We can't have it because white people don't do what we do. And in order to attack racism, we must understand racism. We didn't create racism. White folks did. When they treated us and they beat us and they hung us and they deny us in a strange land that they stole and raped and took. But they quick to tell you, my country, yeah, you created all this crap and injustice. So we only standing up for injustice. We're not creating injustice. We standing up for injustice. And we the victim of injustice, black and brown and Spanish and people color on this planet. Now, it is so sad that the new weapon out called the coronavirus. What I saw this morning, they ain't sending the bacteria to Africa. They've been trying to steal Africa land for the last 50 to 100 years. They've been working on that. They're sending in the sickies. They're sending bacteria over there, and a lot of people start getting sick. You know what I'm saying? These churches is corrupt going over there, these white churches, because the first thing they do, they passing that virus to kill people, to kill a whole line of people. So we got to see why that the bacteria and the coronavirus stuff ain't going to Africa like it's supposed to be. They got the World Health. And how many boxes going that way? You know, we got to keep realizing these people want Africa. These peckerwoods, when they went over there and they tried to, when they took Joburg to South Africa, and then they fled it after Joburg to South Africa was controlled by a black man, Mr. Mandela. So all them white folks ran the fuck out of there because they figured them black people would get together and kill their ass. But why they run? Because they know they did wrong when they killed a lot of them people. And the United States had something to do with it because every vote we try to get passed, them people try to get passed for 30 years. McConnell, the most racism peckerwood in the White House, deny and deny. So that's another thing. How did these people get in the White House and be millionaires, you know what I'm saying, corrupt? Deny him the vote. We give you these men. Everything in this country need an overhaul, if you ask me. From company to business to politics to the education. Now, in the education world is just crazy internet. When I was speaking in many high schools 40 years ago, one of the key I wanted to do is go in the school room, not just go in the auditorium. And I got to go in there. And guess what? There was computers on that side of Manchester, which is Woodward, Hollywood. All of them had the high shit. Fremont, Fremont, Manchester, and all the black schools had nothing. They barely had enough stuff to play for a football team. So that to show you, you have to attack all of the financial system in America. Then you know the real truth. That means company, that means business, that means everything. That's how you understand the economically. Because you're not getting all the pieces of the pie. Even the millionaires like Michael Jordan, all of them. Look what they do. Here's a recognized figure. He had to go to the police department and all this shit just to get a team. So how racist is this fucking crazy country? Been racism. It's all about the poor, the rich white, to keep you out of whatever they think you're supposed to be not doing by not getting next to them. So I say this here to all young minds. You have to stand up, you have to focus, and you have to believe in yourself. That's the first step. And then creating any marketing thing, you got to start from scratch. Ain't nothing jump off the thing. You don't know what's going to sell until you put it on the market. So you got to start working and putting, I don't care if it's a dog fight, a movie, or tennis, a shirt, or cut up something, whatever you do. Be focused, stay strong, and believe in yourself. Don't let nobody take your dream away. And don't ever deny yourself of being what color you are, as you people of color. Kelly Kunta, stay focused, stay strong. The world waiting on people like you.
Man, thank you so much for that beautiful for those beautiful words, man. That was wonderful. I felt that in my soul. Like, word up, I really appreciate you talking to us. Question, would you be willing to come back and do a follow-up?
Yeah. Anytime.
Yeah.
And what you do, you keep it going.
Yes, sir.
That's the whole key. The key is the fact that you understand this whole system. Don't let nobody ever deny you if you're doing movies, if you're doing sewing, if you open up a business. Stay strong with your business, stay with your plan. Keep with your plan. I started speaking in high school 40 years ago. Who would ever thought? I come out of Michael Jackson Mama trial. I occupied the city hall. I met people from all over the world. I traveled. So I'm just a simple project kid. I'm a simple street kid. But I know what I did little compared to most people because it's bigger. So if you got brothers and sisters, you got to utilize all of all of the tools you have. That including your kids and everybody if you're trying to succeed in the white man world. In order to succeed in this world, you got to have an ideal, an ambition, and a dream, and stick with it. You know, you go back and forth and check it out. You know what I'm saying? I stopped this year and came right back. Because I didn't want to do nothing else. I got out the drug world and all that. I said, I'm going back to doing protest. I'm going back to do what I like doing. Because it's out there. So when Black Lives Matter was born, I was having fun down here. You know what I'm saying? I got to meet the vice, now she's the vice president now. But before she was the vice president, I seen her down here. Got to see her all on here. I got to see Danny Glover. I got to speak an hour and a half, a block and a half with Danny Glover. So I got to meet all these people in protesting and meet. So you have to stay strong to be able to get your message out to understand what we are going up against. We are going up against injustice and unfairness and racism. Straight out. So we can't lay our guard down. We can't just give up. You know what I'm saying? So we have to respect the master race. This was scaring Republican Party. The fucking black people moving too fast. I know we get more educated. We getting more knowing that you're not going to keep us stuck in this same old ghetto where we can't apply, we can't do nothing. Now they're coming up with new trap. New trap. They came out, I was listening on Meet the Press. I mean, are you still trying to find people vote? Where's your head at? The world have changed in technology, so if you say boo, the whole world will know tomorrow. So how in the hell you think you're going to get away with that? Because you running in a county down south, you think you're going to pull that off? And we ain't going to say nothing? You Republican is the biggest moron, the biggest stupid race of people that got involved with Donald J. Trump. Let's talk about him. The man who any other human race, if that been Barack Obama, would have did half of the thing what Donald Trump did, he'd have been in prison. Regardless of being the president, they'd lock his ass up. From the first person got killed in the White House, they'd lock down Barack Obama. So it's a double standard in this country. Donald J. Trump not only created murders, corrupt, he corrupt your whole entire branch. And right away, white Americans, Republicans, right away, he's trying to show you motherfuckers in the communist world. All of his friends were dictators. So when you hang out with dictators, what you think you can be? The man did everything in his book to overthrow your vote. Everything. I mean, he went in, all the lawyers went in every federal court and state court and got denied. So how do you think he won the election? No, he tricked you dumb motherfucker and think he won the election. No, he didn't. He got a bunch of white people together. His goal was to overthrow the country and turn you into dictator. We want to go shopping. We want to go to the mall. We don't want to live in the communist world. What the fuck is wrong with these communist philosophy Republican people? We're not going to be dictators. We'll kill, we'll fight for our life before we become communists. So we live with some, now all them Republicans in the White House, how to overthrow your vote, you got to keep them in mind in life. Every time they try to run for office, you got to throw that up. You got to go on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and let the world know. Them the same people deny you the vote. So we got a lot to do in this country. And I hope the young minds keep on doing when I'm dead and gone. Never stop fighting justice, and you'll be okay. When you stop fighting justice, listen to these preachers, these bogus dogs, and always be your own person when you're in that life. Your own person, that means you can call a shot on the pencil when somebody else trying to manipulate you on. I'm Kelly Kunta. Stay strong, stay focused, never give up your dreams.
Hey.